We're ready. So Angie's gonna go send us live here if we're good to go.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, everyone. This is the Mendocino County Subdivision Committee for March 11th, 2021. It is about 9:02 a.m. So we'll start with roll call. I'm Russ Ford with Planning and Building Services.
Elena Dooley with Environmental Health, Land Use.
Alex Aquera with Mendocino County Department of Transportation.
All right. Good morning. Welcome, guys. So we'll start with agenda item 2A, boundary line adjustment. So this is case B 2021-01 for Don Lucchese. This is a boundary line adjustment to reconfigure 3 legal parcels about 2 miles southeast of Ukiah on the north side of Talmadge Road. Looks like the address is 1810 Talmadge Road. And we don't have anybody here representing this.
No Jim Barrett?
No, he actually just called in and said that he wasn't going to be able to make it today.
Okay, because he always touches base no matter what.
Yeah, so why don't we start with you then, Marlena? Do you guys have any concerns?
No, Environmental Health does not have any concerns.
Okay. Transportation?
No comments.
Okay. And planning is just recommending standard conditions. So let's get a motion.
I motion that we approve boundary line adjustment 2021-001 with standard conditions.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item 2B, boundary line adjustment 2021-02 for Robert and Tiffany Gibson and Delina R. Gibson. This is a boundary line adjustment to reconfigure the boundaries between 5 existing parcels about half a mile south of Hopland along either side of Highway 101, and the address is 14101 Mountain House Road. So, environmental health, any comments or concerns?
No.
Okay, transportation?
No comments.
Okay, and planning is recommending standard conditions.
I move that we approve boundary line adjustment 2021-0002 with standard conditions.
Second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, agenda item 2D. We missed a C, I guess. 2D, boundary line adjustment 2021-05 for Forrest Gowder. This is a boundary line adjustment to merge 2 existing parcels. We'll take 2 5-acre parcels and make a single 10-acre parcel in the Covelo area, south side of Bigger Lane, 24450 East Bigger Lane. Is there anyone here for this one? Do we have anybody waiting? Okay. Environmental health.
No comment.
Okay. Transportation.
No comment.
Okay, and planning is recommending a special condition, just that a note shall appear on the deed indicating that this is a voluntary merger of parcels. So, can I get a motion?
Motion we approve boundary line adjustment 2021-0005 with special planning condition regarding the voluntary lot merger.
I
Excellent.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, no minor subdivisions today, so this takes us to agenda item 4A, PreApplication Conference, Congaree River LLC, Bridget and Andreas Benker. Development on a 191-acre parcel, including a 6,800 square foot residence and various accessory structures. Improvements to occur on a 25-acre area for family residential and recreational purposes. This is 1.8 miles southwest of Philo on Van Zant Resort Road. And it doesn't look like we have a parcel or an address for that one. So I'm going to turn this over to Mark Kleiser, the project coordinator. And Mark, why don't you give us a little rundown? And Angie, do we have everybody in?
I have everybody in.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Brief history of this pre-app. On December 14th of last year, we received a pre-application request for a cluster development on this parcel, which is zoned timberland production. At that time, the application proposed a number of structures, including 4 residential cabins, 2 guest cabins, and a caretaker home. Because of the parcel size and absence of a cluster combining district, the applicant was told the project could not be approved. And January 25th of this year, the applicant submitted a revised application, this time proposing 1 main residence, 1 accessory dwelling unit, and in addition to several recreational structures on the parcel. The application stated the improvements will be used for family, residential, and recreation. Staff's concern is that the initial application suggested a resort-like project aligned more with transient habitation than a single-family dwelling. Though the revised application has removed the individual cabins, the project design still suggests the home could be used for transient habitation due to its design and the number of recreational structures and amenities located on it. As such, given these concerns of utilizing such a structure for transient habitation, staff has determined 2 options for the applicant in order to move forward with the request. The first, the applicant applied for a major use permit for transient habitation. And the second, the applicant agrees to a deed restriction that states the home shall not be used for transient application.
Or.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, or. That's
So
or.
it's one of
Yeah,
those
one
two
or the
things.
others.
Okay.
This is all outlined in the memo in the hearing packet. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions and speak with the applicant.
Okay, so I think we'll go to environmental health and then transportation for their thoughts first, and then we'll circle back to the applicants and have any discussion that they would like. So go ahead, Marlena, with any comments that you have.
Well, the main comment that I have, since they've indicated that they'll do septic, that's clear, is about the water and whether or not they have taken a look at whether this project, whichever way it goes, would qualify for a drinking water permit. And I'm happy to talk to them about that with the drinking water program at the state in Santa Rosa, or if it falls within the state small water system that the county implements. So most of my comments were about water. And I imagine they might have some questions also.
Okay, but septic and everything for such a big house and the other units and everything, that was all, no concerns on that end?
They have to prove it. There's no magic. If they want a 10-bedroom house, they'll have to find an area on the lot that can fit a 10-bedroom septic. And that's just me pulling a number out of my hat. It's possible. I have not been on this site. I don't know about the soils in particular, but it's big enough that they should be able to find somewhere out there. Our limit's 10,000 gallons per day, so I don't see this current proposal breaking that.
Okay.
But they could inform me differently.
Okay, Alex, transportation, any comments?
Yeah, I was just looking at where they would be taking access. The access would be taken from Van Vliet Road, where it intersects with Ray's Road, correct?
Yes, the parcel is located it appears on a private road at the end of that extended private road, Van Zant or Van.
Yeah. Ray's Road comes off Van Zant, right? Or is
Yes.
it vice versa?
You go highway to Ray's Road to Van Zant.
Right. So I was looking at that, and it looks like it already has a paved approach there already. So I wouldn't recommend any conditions for this one.
Okay, well that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the applicant. I don't know if any of you guys have a presentation, anything you want to say, but we're here for you at this point for discussion, so fire away.
Yes, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can't see ourselves. We can't see ourselves. Can you see us?
No, we don't have video. We had an issue with video earlier. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can get you.
That's okay, we don't need it.
Oh, I've done come up on the panel. I
This
can do
is
that.
Dave Kindop and Jim Ronco here, and Mr. Wenker and his
There we go. Good morning. David, you're muted. I think we changed some settings here, so we lost you.
there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Jim, you might want to scoot in. You're a bit of a floating head.
You're sitting back there in the bay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm in the fog because that's what I got, rain fog.
So, Mr. Wenker is fine with the second recommendation, which is a deed restriction that the home will not be used for transient habitation. What we were wondering was that the memorandum did not express any concerns with respect to the accessory structures or the accessory buildings. So we were assuming that that there was not an issue or problem with those accessory structures.
We did not seem to.
It was just, that's why it was discussed as a resort recreation.
Right. Yes, with the deed restriction, planning would have no issues with the accessory structures.
Excellent. Okay.
Marlena, you indicated some uneasiness with the water situation. And there's the ability to develop considerable amount of water and store it as we put into our application. The number of bedrooms would not suggest that we're going to get into, I believe, anything where you're dealing with the state water with the state. I think we're talking about 4 bedrooms and an additional house. So, one friend and family, I don't think he's going to have 15 people there.
Well, it's not,
You know,
I'll send it to you just to be sure. The decision tree from the drinking water program, they count it as connection, and then it becomes, well, what's a connection? And at times it can be each structure, and it's not as clear cut as you would think. One of the sections that on the decision tree, I'm just reaching for my copy, asks if there are going to be 15 or more service connections used by year-long residents, or if there are going to be 25 or more year-long residents, or if there are going to be 5 or more service connections. So it's not intuitive, and I would want to just double check that with you, because even I have to double check this thing for every project. And when I saw that many structures, it made me think, oh, that might count in the connection count, because between 0 to 4 is unregulated, 5 to 15 is state small, and then everything above that has a different permit with the water board. And you might be right if it's just the one house, but it's my one thought is that we should go over that and make sure that that's not something that they're going to interpret from this project that, and if it is, it just means they want to see your water system and get a permit for it, because enough people live on it and not long enough during the year that they consider it a water system that needs some disinfecting and monitoring. Because their first question in the first question, huh?
If it's a state small, would that be administered through the Mendocino County Environmental Health?
We do. The state has us do their site inspections. We send in the paperwork to them and we do the site inspections. But the first main question is, does the water system serve 25 people per day, at least 60 days per year? And then it keeps going. So I'll send that to you, all of you. It's a good little chart, just to be sure. As this project flexes, you should just know that.
Okay, that works.
I don't think we have any further questions about the project.
No, I think, they appreciate the option of the deed restriction because that is something that we didn't have a problem with. And, with the accessory structures not being an issue, the only thing would appear to be water, and I think that's doable. The septic systems, we could always put in one of those nice alternative ones, where we have our own little mini septic system. Is the state allowing us to use the standalone septics?
Yes, there's no restriction. Your project doesn't break the county's limit issued by the state, which would be like a 66 bedroom project. If it was bigger than that, then I'd have to refer you to the water board. I haven't interpreted this as breaking that threshold. There are lots of options. It really depends on the soils on that site. If it's good everywhere, then you can do individual ones you can have multiple. There's no limit on how many can be on a lot. If there's only one good spot and you want to have everything plumbed there, then it's still within the threshold. So it's logistics about moving it to where it needs to go. And you'll be working with a septic engineer about that. The only other thing about water that I want to mention, that's this kind of a small potatoes, but when you guys apply for the accessory dwelling unit permit, you're going to need to submit a proof of water,
Okay.
a well pump test.
It's only reasonable. We want to make sure that we have enough water for the proposed use.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's not going to be an issue.
Is there a requirement, like the amount of water that needs to be provided?
Well, yours is a little tricky, but the baseline is ½ gallon per minute per proposed residence. You certainly have a little more going on than just 2 houses. So it seems to me that you guys are of a mind that you have plenty of water. I'm curious as to, and you're proposing a lot of storage. That's one of the mitigating ways to mitigate not having enough all year long. And we can talk about that, but none of that should be a deal breaker.
No, I think we're in pretty good shape. We've got a pond.
I didn't get that. I'm sorry, if someone asked me a question, I missed it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
No.
I do see the pond.
Okay, did we have any other comments? Vandy, is there anything you wanted to add? Just observing?
I'm just supporting.
I just like to say that the deed restriction, that's something that we can work on together, and ultimately it will need county council approval. But there is a brief example of the language in the memo itself. But we can work on that together.
Yeah, that shouldn't be too onerous,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Cool.
All right, great. So unless you guys have any other comments or questions, I think we're good for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everyone.
joining us.
Thank you.
So Marlena and Alex, did you guys have any comments or to matters from staff here?
Not
Questions?
today, not today.
Okay, so then I would say we're adjourned at 9:20. Have a nice day.
You too.
Quick and easy.
I was like, we were done with that pack and I almost ended it. I was like,